Welcome. In this explainer, we are diving deep into a really critical piece of FinOps, cloud pricing models. We're going to break down the different ways you pay for the cloud, and more importantly, how you can stop overspending and start making some much smarter choices.
All right, before we jump in, just a quick but important note. What we're talking about today is for general guidance. You should always chat with your own financial and legal pros before you make any big decisions. So let's get right to it. This is why we're here. We're not talking about saving a few pennies. We're talking about the very real possibility that you might be paying double or even triple what you need to be.
And that's not just me saying it. This is a direct quote from the FinOps 101 report, and it's a huge wake-up call, right? Paying 2 or 3 times more for the exact same stuff. That one choice can literally make or break your budget. So how do we avoid that trap? Well, the key is to stop thinking about cloud pricing as just one price tag. It's not. It's more like a toolkit, and each tool in that kit is designed for a very specific kind of job with its own trade-offs between how much it costs and how flexible it is. And here's our map of that toolkit. This table gives us a fantastic high-level look at our 4 main options: on-demand, reserved instances, spot instances, and savings plans. So let's grab each tool and see what it's for. First up, let's talk about on-demand pricing. This is the simple, flexible default. It's where most people start, and frankly, it's where a lot of people make a big mistake by just stopping there. So what is it? It's pure pay-as-you-go. You get total flexibility. You can start things, you can stop things, whenever you want, no strings attached. Think of it like hailing a taxi on the street. It's super convenient, it's right there when you need it, but you're paying the absolute highest rate for that convenience. The trade-off here is crystal clear. The pro, maximum flexibility. The con, it is by a long shot the highest per hour cost. So yeah, it's perfect for things that are unpredictable or for short-term tests, but it is a really expensive way to run your day-to-day operations. Okay, so what if your work is predictable? What if you have stuff that's always on? Well, that's where reserved instances, or RIs, come into the picture. This is all about committing to your usage to get a big discount. The deal is pretty straightforward. You promise to use a specific type of resource for a 1 or 3 year term. In exchange for that promise, you get a really significant discount. We're not hailing a taxi anymore. This is like leasing a car. You get a much better monthly rate because the dealer knows you're sticking around. And the reward for that commitment? It's huge. We are talking savings between 30 and 70% compared to that on-demand price. Just think about that. If a company is spending, say, 10 grand a month, a 70% savings is $7,000 back in their pocket. Every single month. That's a game changer. But, and this is the important part, it all hinges on predictability. This is for your steady state workloads, the stuff you know is going to be running. You have to be able to do some planning and say, yep, this is our baseline, because that's what you're committing to. Okay, let's get a little more aggressive. Time to talk about the most high-risk, high-reward tool in our kit, spot instances. Now, this is a totally different way of thinking. You're basically bidding on a cloud provider's leftover spare capacity. The deal is incredible. You get a massive discount, but the provider can kick you off and take that resource back with very little notice if somebody else wants it and is willing to pay full price. And when I say the savings are massive, I mean it. We're talking 50 to 90% off the on-demand price. These are, without a doubt, the deepest discounts you can possibly get in the cloud. So, here's the crucial catch. Your application has to be built to handle being interrupted. It has to be fault tolerant. It needs to be designed to just survive having the plug pulled. This makes it amazing for things like batch processing or big data analysis, jobs that can be paused and restarted without a crisis. This is not for your main website or your critical database. Absolutely not. All right, let's look at the last major tool in our kit. This is a more modern, more flexible way to commit. It's called savings plans. Think of this as a really smart evolution of reserved instances. Instead of committing to one specific type of machine in one specific place, you commit to a certain amount of spending per hour, like, say, $10 an hour. You're committing to your total usage, not a piece of hardware. And the big win here is flexibility. You get those same great discounts as reserved instances, but you have the freedom to change the kind of machine you're using or even move to a different region as your project evolves. The discount just applies automatically, which makes it so much easier to manage. Okay, so we've got our 4 powerful tools: On Demand, RIs, Spot, and Savings Plans. So the million-dollar question is, which one do you pick?
And the answer is you don't just pick one. That's the biggest mistake people make. They just default to one model, usually the most expensive one, On Demand. The real pro strategy, the optimal way to do this, is to blend them all together. And this is what that looks like. Step 1, you look at your baseline, the stuff that's always on, and you cover it with savings plans or ROIs to lock in those great discounts. Step 2, you use On Demand for all the spiky, unpredictable workloads that go up and down. And step 3, for any job that can be interrupted, you throw Spot instances at it to get those massive, massive savings. You're just using the right tool for the right part of the job. And you don't have to get it perfect right out of the gate. The source material makes a fantastic point here. Even if you start conservatively, maybe you cover just 50% of your average usage with a savings plan, that alone can lead to huge savings while still giving you tons of flexibility.
And that's what it all comes down to. This is the big question I want you to take back to your team. We know that most people just default to On Demand because it's easy. So, looking at what you're running right now, what percentage of it is actually predictable enough that you could flip a switch and start saving money on it today?